Hundreds of residents are displaced tonight, more than 24 hours after flames broke out at two Thorncliffe Park apartment buildings yesterday, in what is being called one of the most complex blazes Toronto Fire has fought in recent memory. Good evening. Fire officials say they have made progress in battling the blaze that is spreading through insulation behind the walls of the building, but the flames are still not out, and there is no word on when residents will be able to return home. CTV's Janice Golding has been following this story and joins us live tonight with the latest. Janice.
Hi, Natalie. Officials say this fire has now been downgraded to a one-alarm blaze, but there's still quite a few emergency vehicles here as firefighters continue to try to battle the very slow-burning fire. A massive response. Crews from 77 fire trucks working rotating shifts through the night as they try to knock down a complex 5-alarm blaze.
The challenge right now is the location. What is burning is the insulation between the buildings and between the walls. The firefighters can't just start cutting into walls given gas lines, given hydro and power lines.
An active fire not visible from outside, the flames instead spreading insidiously behind the walls.
I was working from home and the fire alarm went off, and then we noticed smoke with my husband and it was actually visible.
The fire started around 1:30 yesterday afternoon in the parking garage of 11 Thorncliffe Park Drive, and by evening had spread to the building next door, 21 Overlea Boulevard.
I left just after 2 o'clock after the fire alarms went off. I got back around midnight and got told that I could go home and got sent to the Thorncliffe Community Center.
With high carbon monoxide levels detected, all residents were evacuated. Some headed to a local community center, while others took shelter in a nearby TTC bus.
Currently, I've got a temporary residence at my older brother's home. He's over at Spadina, St. Clair. So I'm hoping it won't be too long because I don't want to inconvenience his family.
While many have found their own way, the Red Cross says it is currently providing emergency accommodation and food to 114 people.
My hearts go out to all the residents that had to leave their homes last night. We're here for you. You are not alone.
While they are being permitted into their units to collect personal items, it's unknown how long residents will be displaced for.
We're still active firefighting and air monitoring. The good news is the temperatures and CO are going down, but we can't predict a timeline right now.
What can you say? It's carbon monoxide, right? It's a slow killer, so you don't want to take any chances with that.
An investigation into how the fire started will take place once it is completely extinguished. Now, firefighters say residents won't be allowed to return to their units until 24 hours after the fire is officially out. If you are in need of housing assistance, the city is recommending that you contact the Red Cross. Reporting live, I'm Janice Golding. Now back to Natalie.
Okay, thank you, Janice. Meanwhile, in Brampton, 2 people, including a firefighter, were injured in a house fire this morning. Flames broke out around 8 a.m. at a home on Versailles Crescent near Highway 50 and Cottrell Boulevard. Fire officials say a male resident suffered serious injuries, but he is expected to survive. The firefighter was taken to hospital as a precaution. The cause of the blaze remains under investigation, but police say it is not believed to be suspicious. And in Scarborough, firefighters rescued a woman from a blaze in a basement apartment overnight. She was one of 2 people in the home rushed to hospital. CTV's Beth McDonnell has the details.
Smoke billowed out of windows as firefighters worked through the night to get the stubborn fire out.
Crews arrived into a fully involved house fire, deep-seated fire in the basement, heavy smoke and heat coming out. They did incredible to push their way into that basement.
The fire broke out around 1:30 in the morning. Inside the basement, firefighters found a female.
Yeah, she wasn't able to self-evacuate. We did rescue her from the basement apartment.
Firefighters say she sustained critical injuries and paramedics gave her CPR.
She was vital signs absent. Our partners at Paramedic Services were able to revive her, and she was taken to a local hospital where she remains for treatment.
Her condition as of Friday afternoon remained life-threatening. The home is located on Dolverton Road near Lawrence Avenue East and Birchmount Road in Scarborough. Fire crews say a second person on the main floor was able to get out of the home on her own and also went to hospital.
Lots of smoke.
This neighbor, who didn't want to appear on camera, says she knows the person who lives upstairs.
She's old lady. She's good. She was good.
The investigation into this terrible fire is underway. Fire crews say because of its seriousness, the Ontario Fire Marshal is being brought in. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
A woman is fighting for her life in hospital following a stabbing in the city's East End. Police were called to the area of Danforth and Broadview shortly before 7 a.m. for reports of a woman suffering from stab wounds. She was taken to hospital with critical injuries. A man was arrested nearby in connection with the incident. The circumstances leading up to the stabbing remain under investigation. A driver has been injured in a collision with a snowplow near Lindsay, Ontario.
Obviously, with the recent snowfall, there's been a lot of motor vehicle collisions in the city of Kawartha Lakes. Again, our suggestion is just make sure that you're driving to the conditions. Don't be in a rush. Give yourself lots of time when you're trying to get to where you're going. Let's just make sure we all get to where we're trying to get to safely.
The crash happened just before 6 a.m. on Highway 7. Police say the woman in the vehicle was taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The driver of the snowplow was not seriously injured. The cause of the crash remains under investigation. And a multi-day storm is continuing throughout the GTA. This was the scene in Oshawa earlier today. Environment Canada is forecasting up to 30 centimeters of snow there as squalls continue to move through the region with lake-effect snow off of Georgian Bay. The snow is expected to last into the weekend. The storm not having as much of an impact here in the city, though, but snow is on the horizon. Still to come this hour, the battle for bargains on Black Friday. We brave them all to scout out the discounts and the deals. That's just ahead. But first, we turn to York Region, where charges have been laid after a pedestrian was struck and killed in Vaughan last night. It happened around 7:30 p.m. near Highway 7 and Islington Avenue. A 62-year-old man was struck and killed by a transport truck. Police say the driver initially left the scene, but was later found near Steeles and Highway 27. The driver, a 65-year-old man from Wittert-Stouffville, has been charged with dangerous driving causing death and failing to stop at the scene of a crash. And the province's police watchdog is investigating a collision that completely shut down the northbound 400 today. The police watchdog says an OPP cruiser collided with a civilian vehicle around 7 a.m. near Finch Avenue. Both the officer and the driver of the other vehicle were taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The SIU is investigating the circumstances leading up to the crash. York Regional Police say frontline officers will soon be equipped with body-worn cameras. The service says those devices will be rolled out next spring after being approved by the police board this week. Police say the initiative is aimed at delivering transparency and accountability while enhancing the safety of both citizens and officers. It follows the introduction of body-worn cameras by other GTA police agencies. Additional public consultations are scheduled for the new year. The Ford government is appointing an administrator to take over the province's real estate regulator in response to its handling of the iPro Realty scandal. Today, dozens of affected realtors gathered in front of the legislature demanding answers. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has the details.
Months of frustration brought realtors to Queen's Park, demanding answers and action on the iPro Realty and Real Estate Council of Ontario mess.
I have never, since 1989, seen a fiasco, a scandal like this.
In May, iPro's founders pulled $10 million out of the brokerage's trust account. The regulator, RICO, didn't get involved or freeze assets until August.
We believe in protecting our clients. We ask that someone finally protects us too.
The Minister of Public and Business Service Delivery and Procurement has seen enough, appointing an administrator to take control of RICO. Writing to the council Friday, I have concluded that decisive action is required, noting that an audit completed this month raises concerns about RICO's ability to restore public confidence in the real estate services sector and protect consumers during one of the largest purchases of their lives. What's not clear is when realtors will get the commission they've been waiting on, frozen in a trust fund.
I am still owed $50,000. We live paycheck to paycheck. I had to take out a loan just to cover our basic bills.
Brian Thompson is waiting on $75K. The father of an 18-month-old has taken out a line of credit, but it's not a lasting solution.
We have to pay bill, pay gas. We still have to serve clients. We still have to buy gift for them when they got the house and on other expenses.
Expenses that cannot wait.
I have lost my confidence.
While the financial hit stings.
I care more about the future, what this is going to do to the profession. I want people to be punished.
Justice and wholesale changes to prevent more pain down the road. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Mayor Olivia Chow was in Scarborough today to break ground on what the city calls Canada's largest co-op housing development in a generation. The project is called Kennedy Green. It will be built in a former commuter parking lot on municipally owned land next to Kennedy Station. The site will deliver 612 new affordable homes in collaboration with the federal government's cooperative housing development program. Those units will be spread across 2 co-op buildings with a mix of studios, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom apartments.
When you see this building rise, remember this. Your mayor and city council and your member of parliament, your federal government chose a different path, a path that declare homes are for people, not just profit.
The project is one of nearly 100 city-owned sites that could be converted into housing. An Etobicoke dentist whose company received millions in a government grant appears to be claiming to be the dentist of the Ford family. But as CTV's John Woodward reports, Ontario's premier says he's never been there.
JM Dental in Etobicoke looks over Douglas B. Ford Park, named for the father of Ontario's current premier. And the clinic on its website appears to claim even more connections with the Fords, saying to potential patients, "We want you to feel as comfortable and relaxed as the Ford family has during their visits with us."
I treat my patients like their family.
The director of the clinic is John Magirius. Records show he's given tens of thousands to the governing PC party and its candidates. A video shows him joking with Ford at a fundraiser. Too close for comfort, says Ontario's opposition, questioning whether that relationship played a part in another of Magirius's companies, DentaCloud, getting just over $2 million from the controversial Skills Development Fund.
This is a $2.5 billion fund, and this is not the Premier's personal piggy bank.
Ford did appear in photos with Magirius posted by the Premier's office, but when asked about it Thursday,
I haven't been there. I'll have to check if my Rob's kids, my brother's kids, but come on.
No word on that from the Premier's office Friday. Older photos show Ford's late brother Rob at the clinic more than 10 years ago.
Hi there.
The office didn't respond to emails on Thursday, so we went in person.
We've been trying to reach you guys about the question of this endorsement on the website.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
They asked us to leave.
You don't often see personal testimonials on dentist websites in Ontario, and when we asked legal experts why, they referred us to the advertising rules for dentists.
I generally would guide away from making a statement like this.
Kyle Hamilton of the dental marketing company says even if dentists get patients' consent for advertising, rules forbid them from testimonials or any statement that can only be verified by a person's personal feelings or views.
That statement certainly raises a lot of questions as to how is it verifiable.
Ford saying he had nothing to do with the $2 million grant.
That's why I have ministers. I don't micromanage. I hold everyone accountable, I can tell you that. But no, I don't get into you do this, you do that. It doesn't happen. But anyways, next question.
One sign that the website of that dentist didn't exactly leave Ford smiling. John Woodward, CTV News.
Well, affordability was a hot topic as 5 candidates faced off in the first official NDP leadership debate yesterday.
Cost of living right now for Canadians is skyrocketing.
But we're getting squeezed while billionaires are getting cash.
Rob Ashton, Tennille Johnston, Avi Lewis, Heather McPherson, and Tony McQuail all took to the stage in Montreal. They tackled everything from winning back the working class, reconciliation, and building support in Quebec. The debate began with a plan to have 60% of it take place in French, but most of the debate wound up being in English. The NDP will choose its next leader on March 29th in Winnipeg during the party's annual convention. Well, Quebec's government has tabled legislation that would expand restrictions on religious practices in the province.
Because we think that when the state is neutral, Quebecers are free.
Bill 9 includes a ban on full face coverings for students and staff in public education settings. It would also prohibit prayer in public institutions like universities, as well as in public outdoor spaces. State-funded institutions like hospitals would be banned from offering menus based exclusively on a religious tradition, like strictly kosher or halal options. The legislation builds on a 2019 secularism law banning public servants from wearing religious symbols at work. There is an urgent warning tonight from jet manufacturer Airbus that could impact thousands of flights ahead of a busy travel weekend, especially south of the border. The European aircraft maker says an immediate software change needs to be made on 6,000 of its best-selling A320 family of jets. Airbus says intense solar radiation may corrupt data critical to the functioning of flight controls. This comes after an incident on a JetBlue flight from Cancun to Newark last month, where passengers were injured following a sudden loss of altitude. The only major Canadian airline with those planes listed in its fleet is Air Canada. We've asked the carrier about expected impacts. More news in a moment, but first let's go outside for a live look at the city this hour. It is mainly clear downtown right now, sitting just below the freezing mark. Lindsay Morrison is live tonight in Halton Hills with a first look at the forecast. Lindsay.
You know, Natalie, this is an area that has seen some snow squalls over the last couple of days here. It is still windy. It's cold. The snow has tapered off. Let's begin first with a look at your weather conditions, and we'll begin, of course, with the big story of the last few days. Snow squalls continue to impact many different parts of southern Ontario, but improvements are coming. Here's what that looks like on the satellite and radar imagery. We're going to slowly start to see some of these bands retract, although it's been very snowy today in parts of Durham region, as well as areas like Kitchener-Waterloo and Barrie today. Here's a look at the weather alerts that remain in place. Again, expect that these are gradually going to come to an end tonight. The winds will start to ease, but they are still pretty strong right now and gusty as well, tapping into a bit of a northwesterly wind in many areas. So that's making it feel chilly. Here's a look at our current temperatures. We've got cold hands tonight, but we've got very warm hearts. Here's a look at your overnight at a glance. We are live in Halton Hills, where we are building a toy mountain. We're at the Toronto Premium Outlets. Gina, what a fabulous turnout tonight. It's amazing, isn't it?
It sure is. I can't believe all the people that came out tonight. Hello, everyone. We love you all. Thank you so much.
It's a big shopping day for so many people. It is Black Friday, and we're shopping for children in need here in the GTA. As we continue to build this mountain of toys, we have some special guests. We have some special things to show you as well. For now, Natalie, I'll send it back inside to you, but look at this crowd as we build a toy mountain. There's lots more to come this hour. We'll see you soon, Natalie.
Okay, thank you, Lindsay. Now to the latest on Ottawa's deal with Alberta, which could set the stage for a new pipeline to the Pacific. The BC government and First Nations groups have spoken out against the agreement, but as a key federal cabinet minister steps down, critics warn the Carney government could face even more blowback. CTV senior correspondent Judy Trin has the details.
For a project like that to come to reality, you'd have to make sure that there is social acceptance, certainly if it's going to BC.
After 6 years in the Liberals' inner circle, Stephen Guilbeault quit as Minister of Culture, unable to stomach the Prime Minister's shift toward pipelines. Just hours after Mark Carney signed the Memorandum of Understanding with Alberta's Premier, Guilbeault resigned. He said several elements of the climate change action plan he worked on are about to be dismantled, including consumer carbon pricing, zero-emission vehicle standards, and the emissions cap on the oil and gas sectors.
I'll disagree with the characterization that we're rolling things back when we've actually committed to strengthening the industrial carbon price, strengthening methane regulations, extending the methane regulation.
Guilbeault will remain in caucus. Other Liberal MPs feel strongly about the environment. About 30 are part of a newly formed climate caucus.
He's dedicated his life to climate issues, and it's completely understandable that he would stand on that principle. Does that mean that there's a cancer spreading through the caucus? Absolutely not.
Guilbeault was also the Quebec lieutenant. Now Carney will have to find someone else to help him navigate the politics of La Belle Province.
Mark Carney is not a Quebecer. Mark Carney is not culturally, linguistically in the flow of Quebec.
He relies on that Quebec Club tenants.
On social media, the Prime Minister thanks Stephen Guilbeault for his work in advancing sustainability. Mark Carney must now turn his attention to finding a new Minister of Canadian Culture. He could also use a vacancy for a cabinet shuffle. Judy Trin, CTV News, Ottawa.
U.S. President Donald Trump is vowing to permanently pause all immigration from what he calls third world countries after one of 2 West Virginia National Guards died after being shot by an Afghan national earlier this week. The victim who died was Specialist Sarah Beckstrom. The other soldier, Staff Sergeant Andrew Wolf, remains in critical condition. Trump offered few details about the immigration pause, but said in a post on social media that he plans to remove millions of migrants from the U.S. Officials say the 29-year-old suspect in the fatal shooting entered the U.S. in 2021 through a program which welcomed around 76,000 Afghan refugees. Firefighters in Hong Kong have concluded their search for survivors at a high-rise complex devastated by a deadly blaze.
Right now, I feel so grateful because I am safe. But I'm concerned about friends I know before. We have talked. Usually we talk, and then I haven't met them.
128 people are confirmed dead, with 200 others listed as missing. Hong Kong's government says it appears the flames broke out Wednesday in protective netting on the lower floors of one tower and quickly spread, while fire alarms also malfunctioned. Investigators have made several arrests as they say they'll look into possible corruption in renovation efforts at the complex. Statistics Canada reported better than expected results for the economy last quarter. The agency says real gross domestic product was up 2.6% on an annualized basis. Exports edged up as imports fell sharply, strengthening the national trade balance. The positive results came after a 1.8% contraction in the second quarter when U.S. tariffs took full effect. Capital Economics North American economist Bradley Saunders said the import-led growth masked tumbling domestic demand. He said the drop-off in household spending was the largest in nearly 2 decades, excluding during the pandemic. Well, it is one of the busiest buying days of the year. Thousands descending on malls in search of Black Friday deals today in the kickoff to the holiday shopping season. CTV's Mike Walker has more from the hustle and bustle of Yorkdale Mall.
Thousands of eager shoppers navigating the crowds in search of Black Friday deals.
So what are you looking for?
Makeup and holiday tops.
I'm hoping to find something for my daughter at least and my mom.
For some clothes and also some shoes.
At Yorkdale Mall, we saw sales ranging from 30 up to 70% off.
The deals are great, actually. I'm surprised how much we're getting off. I'm seeing 40%.
I think they're a little bit sharper this year. Because retailers, they're not dumb. They know that consumers are very frugal and that they're not going to buy anything unless it's a great deal.
With holiday shopping in full swing, Yorkdale estimates more than 80,000 shoppers will pass through its stores today.
I would say Black Friday is one of the busiest shopping days of the year, with the exception of Boxing Day.
This as the Retail Council of Canada projects the average holiday shopping budget will remain steady at $975. But it found people are shopping smarter, researching weeks in advance and looking for sharper deals.
I'm sticking to a budget. I'm trying to get really good deals, yeah. Things are a lot more than last year.
I'm trying to spend about the same as last year. It's a little harder with inflation, but trying to make it the best I can.
Good morning. Even with retailers extending their hours, this Black Friday isn't the same frenzy it once was.
Almost like a typical Saturday.
Retail experts say that's due in part to online shopping and sales starting weeks ago.
And what retailers do is they sort of release a couple of really good deals each day to try to get you engaged every day for shopping so you don't wait for the one day to come in and buy.
Many surveys indicate consumers have started early, spreading their shopping over several weeks, looking to stretch their dollar amid tariffs and economic uncertainty.
Well, the economy is not stable, so we're not sure what's going on with the U.S.
Although I do like a sale, the economy is not that great right now, so I'm really maximizing shopping today as much as I can.
Some Nike.
But with these deals, staying on budget for some
Zara
is a tall task.
Overspending.
By how much?
Enough. I don't even know. But I guess when you're already at the mall, like, you might as well just go for it.
Mike Walker, CTV News.
Still to come tonight, a show of support for the Sceptres, raising the flag today before dropping the puck tomorrow on the home opener.
I'm Pat Foran. Coming up on Consumer Alert, many people spent the day at the mall or hunched over their computer or phone trying to get a Black Friday deal. There is still time to try and find discounts and bargains, and we have some strategies that could help you save money. I'll have that story. That's just ahead.
Well, one of my favorite parts of Toy Mountain is getting to visit all the different corners of the GTA. And tonight we are in Halton Hills, and we're lucky enough to be joined by Halton Hills Mayor Ann Lawler. Thanks for having us out here.
Well, it's fabulous that you're here and at TPO, which is the busiest spot in town. I have to tell you right now, Halton Hills is a pretty small place, but we certainly do expand our population at this time of year. And I'm delighted that CTV is here building this Toy Mountain. I have my little Emperor Penguin here that I'm going to add to the pile. And thank you so much. This is the season for giving. This is the season for sharing. And in the town of Halton Hills, we know how to do that. Yes. So thanks for coming.
Thank you so much, Mayor. And yes, of course, Toronto Premium Outlets, one of the places you can come and drop off a new unwrapped toy for a child in need. Lots of festive things happening this weekend. We have Santa Claus parades happening across southern Ontario. The Cavalcade of Lights is happening tomorrow night in Toronto as well. And we've got the CPKC holiday train rolling through, but we've got some snow to talk about on Sunday. Details are coming up.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Shopping season has begun. There are plenty of deals still to find, especially online. Pat Foran has some bargain hunting advice on this Consumer Alert.
In the early days of Black Friday, many people lined up outside their favorite store at midnight, but now some of the best deals are online. Consumer Report says you can find great sales using price trackers, and to stay safe, stick to retailers you already know and trust. Despite rising prices, tariff concerns, and inflation, many consumers still plan to spend big bucks this holiday season. While sales are in full swing, you still want to make sure a deal really is a deal.
If you want to know if something is truly a good deal, check out the product's price history with tools like Camel, 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 Honey, and Keepa.
Prices can change from day to day and even throughout the day, so knowing something's price history can give you an edge. That's true for larger purchases, such as electronics. Black Friday usually has great tech deals, and it's the best time to buy a TV.
Prices may go up after Cyber Monday, so be ready. Know what you want and how much you're willing to spend.
Other items are also Black Friday staples.
So nearly everything is on sale. You've got small appliances like coffee makers and air fryers, even vacuums and mattresses.
Be careful on sites like Amazon, Walmart, and Temu, as you could be buying from third-party sellers rather than the retailer itself. That can make it harder to return items, and products sold by third-party sellers could be fake and even dangerous.
Some third-party sellers may be unreachable or unaccountable for the harms caused by their products. And in many cases, the online platform can claim it's just the middleman.
It's recommended you stick with sellers you trust. If the seller is the marketplace, that's generally safer, and choose well-known and reputable brands. Some products need the highest level of scrutiny, things like toys, anything with lithium-ion batteries, or small enough for a child to swallow. Keep in mind badges like Amazon's Choice or Etsy's Pick might catch your eye, but it's not always clear how those products are selected. A little caution online can save you money and help keep your family safe this holiday season. Many retailers extend their return windows into January, so there's extra time if a gift doesn't hit the mark. But check the return policy carefully. There may be limitations, and some companies now charge you for shipping the product back. On your side, I'm Pat Foran.
If you have a consumer story idea, email us at alert@ctv.ca.
And if you are out shopping this Black Friday, why not pick up a toy to go under the tree for a family in need? Our Lindsay Morrison is building a mountain of toys at the Toronto Premium Outlets tonight. Lindsay, I'm sure this is one of the busiest days, if not the busiest, to be at that mall.
Yes, if the parking lot is any indication, Natalie, I think malls and outlets are busy everywhere today, but hopefully people are in a spending and a giving mood, because that's what this is all about, isn't it? We're here at the Toronto Premium Outlets. I just want to point this out, this big red wall that we've been standing in front of. This is an advent calendar of sorts, and here to explain it a little better to us, we have Elena Livertovsky, who's one of our dear friends from the Salvation Army. Tell us specifically about this little toy mountain section here.
Correct. So this year marks the 30th anniversary of the CTV Toy Mountain campaign. To celebrate, we decided to create a 3D replica of the Toy Mountain logo. And Toronto Premium Outlets provided us with this opportunity to have this here at their life-sized advent calendar. And we're so appreciative of their support. If you haven't yet donated to the Toy Mountain, you can come here to the Premium Outlet Mall and scan the QR code. You can also visit the guest services and drop off a new unwrapped toy. You can also visit toymountain.ca for more information on how to donate. Thank you.
Elena, this is so fabulous. Look at this beautiful rotating structure. We love it. We're honored to have this be part of the display here at the Toronto Premium Outlets. Thank you so much. I want to introduce you to some other friends here. I have Chrissy and I have Lisa. You're from Kate Spade, one of the wonderful stores here. And you come bearing gifts tonight?
Yes, we're actually representing Kate Spade stores across Ontario and Quebec. Our teams for the third year in a row have come together, and we're pleased to be giving hundreds of toys to Toy Mountain.
Oh, let's hear it for them. Thank you so much, Kate Spade, and all the other partners here at Toronto Premium Outlets. It must feel pretty good to give back at this time of year.
Oh, anything to spark joy within our community.
Yeah.
We love it.
Absolutely. Gina, we love to see this.
Absolutely. The faces on the children's, the smiles on the children's faces will be amazing. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you. Absolutely wonderful. This is going to be added to our mountain. Thank you for bringing it tonight. And joining us on what is a pretty chilly evening as well. We've had some snow, we've had gusty winds, and now we've got some cold. But I must say the weekend's not looking too bad. Let's get to your forecast. And what you need to know is that there are still a few weather alerts in place. This is snow squall specific, but we do expect that they're going to gradually start to come to an end as we make our way through the night tonight. So here's what they look like. Again, some of these are going to come to an end, and if we can, we'll take a look also at the satellite and radar to show you the snow squalls that persist at this hour. It's been a very snowy day in places like Bowmanville, in Oshawa, in and around Port Hope, in the Barrie area, about 50 centimeters of snow falling in Barrie, and around here in Halton Hills, there have been on and off flurries as well. We're going to say goodbye to this disturbance that's been bringing us all the lake effect snow. We're turning off the machine, which is of course the Great Lakes, but here comes the next system. This one's a Colorado low. It's going to bring us a little more widespread snow into the day on Sunday. Here's how that plays out timing wise. So your Saturday, not a bad looking day, varying amounts of sun and cloud. This is another good shopping day if you want to get out and about, but some snow begins overnight. Will be with us through part of the day on Sunday. Notice that little bit of mixing that could happen as early as Sunday morning, and then more certainly as the day goes on and the temperature rises. Expect a few centimeters of slushy snow that day. We might have some light shoveling to do. At this point, it looks like maybe 5 or more centimeters, but again, if we get some rain mixing in, that will lessen the amounts. And this is on top of what has already fallen in many areas. I know the sun was shining today in Toronto, so not much in the way of snow on the ground in the downtown core, but there could be some to come on Sunday. It is -1 degree right now, but it feels like -7. It's a little bit chilly outside. Everyone's nodding in agreement. It is kind of chilly overnight tonight. We can expect very similar conditions. Here's your forecast lows. -4, -5 degrees, depending on where you are. Might be closer to about -8 overnight tonight in Waterloo as well as Peterborough. Daytime high tomorrow, though, 2 degrees, back above freezing. And as we take a look at what you can expect through the weekend, again, Saturday looks pretty good. Sunday, we have that possibility of some wet snow, but look at the forecast daytime high, 4 degrees. Let's get to your 7-day forecast. Hey, December begins on Monday. Can you believe it? Already, Monday's looking like a really lovely day, mix of sun and cloud. It is going to be a little cool once again, though, -1 for the high. We are here building a toy mountain! And I just want to show you this beautiful display one more time, Natalie. Isn't that gorgeous? Love it so much on this advent calendar. I'll send it back inside to you.
Thank you so much, Lindsay. In sports, the city is showing support for the Toronto Sceptres as the PWHL club gets set to play its home opener tomorrow.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, let's go! Woo!
Captain Blair Turnbull and Assistant Captain Renata Fast were joined by Mayor Olivia Chow to hoist the flag into the sky today. General Manager Gina Kingsbury and head coach Troy Ryan also took part in this ceremony. The Sceptres opened their season last Friday with a win on the road against the defending champion Minnesota Frost 2-1. They will take on the Boston Fleet on Saturday at Coca-Cola Coliseum.
Raising this flag is more than a symbol of pride. It's a celebration of progress in women's professional sports and a reminder of the power sports has to bring communities together.
Today's flag raising is not only symbolic of our season opening, season 3, it's a powerful reminder of the commitment we made to this city. To honor Toronto through our work, our culture, and the way we lead in all we do.
The Sceptres made it to the playoffs in each of their first 2 seasons, but were eliminated in the first round both years. This year, they will welcome new competition to the league with the Seattle Torrent and Vancouver Golden Eyes joining as expansion teams. Still ahead tonight, a parent's promise to their daughter, raising money for medical research in the quest for a cure to an ultra-rare condition.